When people ask me for advice about buying an affordable, small car, I always tell them they should drive a Honda Civic. That's because the Civic isn't just a great value, it's a great car, and it has been for over 4 decades. Hi, I'm Keith Barry. In 2016, Honda came out with an updated Civic with futuristic new styling, a sensible interior, and fun-to-drive performance that made it a real hit with both car buyers and reviewers alike. This year, Honda's come out with a couple new flavors of Civic, including this hatchback, which is the first that's been sold in the US since 2005. It's supposed to be a mix of practicality and performance, which is a real sweet spot for Civic buyers, and that's why we decided to check it out. From the front, it's hard to tell the difference between the Civic Hatchback, coupe, and sedan. All 3 cars have the same aggressive styling, although a lot of the sedan's chrome trim is blacked out on the hatch. While the other Civics are made in Indiana and Ontario, the hatch is imported from Honda's factory in Swindon in the UK. Size-wise, both the sedan and the hatch have the same wheelbase, but the hatchback's roof is 0.8 inches taller, and the car itself is 4.3 inches shorter thanks to its stubby tail. That cuts into rear legroom, but not by much. Backseat passengers should still be pretty comfortable. That short rear end does throw off the car's proportions. While the sedan has sloping C-pillars that give it a bit of sporty elegance, I think the hatch just kind of looks like a snail. But the trade-off for that awkwardness is 25.7 cubic feet of cargo space. That is 10.6 more cubic feet than you get from the sedan. There's even an innovative side-mounted cargo cover that stays out of the way when the seats are folded down. But no matter what Civic you choose, the view is the same from the driver's seat. A minimalist interior with a digital dashboard and the kind of cup holders and cubby holes you'd expect from a minivan, not a compact car. How that interior is equipped, however, depends upon which trim level you choose. The base Civic Hatchback LX starts at $19,700, which is $960 more than the base sedan. Every Civic hatch comes with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, but step up to the $22,800 EX and you'll get a moonroof and the display audio system, which includes a 7-inch touchscreen that works with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also comes with Lane Watch, which uses a camera to display what's in your blind spot and can be helpful when you're sharing the road with cyclists. The EXL Navi adds leather all around, heated seats up front, and a powered driver's seat. And for an extra $1,000, you can get the Honda Sensing Active Safety System. It has a really cool cruise control setup that'll follow the car ahead of it at low speeds. It also has lane keep assist and collision mitigation braking. The range-topping Sport Touring starts at $28,300, and it comes standard with Honda Sensing, plus the upgraded sound system and a center outlet exhaust that bumps the horsepower from 174 to 180. If you're really serious about performance, you should wait for the Type R, which is a track-ready competitor to the Golf R and the Focus RS. It's coming to the US for the first time later in 2017. Finally, the car I'm driving is an entry-level sport trim, which starts at $21,300. While it has the same 1.5-liter engine and the upgraded exhaust as the Sport Touring, the rest of the car is pretty simple. There's a 6-speed manual transmission standard, there's no active safety, and there's no upgraded sound system. And that means you can't use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which is pretty frustrating. The good news is that it does have a volume knob, which some of the higher-end trim cars lack. More importantly, it lives up to that sport badge. I mean, it isn't fast. Honda clocked the EX with a CVT at 7.8 seconds from 0 to 60, and even with 6 extra horsepower and a stick shift, this doesn't have that much more hustle. But it feels fast. Under heavy acceleration, the Turbo 4's 180 horses are plenty, whether you're pulling away from a stoplight or you're accelerating on the highway. You just hit the gas and it begs you to keep going. The shifter is precise, but gear changes are effortless, and the clutch has just enough heft that the car is still fun to drive even when you're stuck in traffic. And a brake hold feature makes hill starts easier too. That transmission is like everything else about the Civic, controlled but responsive. Even the soundproofing doesn't overdo it. Yeah, it keeps out the wind and the road noise, but it doesn't isolate the driver from the road. In other words, if you don't care a thing about cars and you're just buying a Civic Hatch because it's practical, I bet within a week you're going to be really accelerating into the corners and enjoying it. It's like when you buy a KitchenAid stand mixer and all of a sudden start to care about baking. It's just that good. but it isn't perfect. In particular, I had some real issues with the Civic's electronic power steering. Honda recalibrated it specifically for the hatchback, and as a result, the steering feel changes depending upon how you're driving. So when you're cruising on a straightaway, feedback is relaxed. But as soon as you decide to change lanes or swerve to avoid an obstacle, it stiffens up. I found it pretty hard to get used to. Another complaint is that you lose the option to have a stick shift as you move up to the higher trim levels. So if you want leather and CarPlay, you've got to take a CVT. But for most buyers, those are small trade-offs for a car that gets up to 40 miles a gallon in highway traffic and gets all-around good ratings and crash tests. Buying a Civic hatchback might seem like a no-brainer, but if you want to be thorough, there's a whole new host of hatchbacks on the market that you should probably investigate. The Toyota Corolla IM, which is formerly known as the Scion IM, feels a little outdated, and the Civic outclasses it in nearly every category. There's also the Mazda 3, which is an enthusiast favorite, and the all-new Chevy Cruze hatchback. And then there's the Volkswagen Golf. One of the best-known hatchbacks in the world, the VW has a more traditional exterior, and its steering feel isn't as unpredictable as the Honda's. No matter which one of those cars you end up buying, the Honda Civic hatchback should definitely be on your shopping list. With its sub-$20,000 starting price, its interesting exterior, and its sensible design, Honda has given us yet another Civic to love. To read my full review, head over to CarGurus.com, and to watch more test drive reviews, subscribe to our channel.